One night in 1983, looking at a flickering television screen, I witnessed a presence I had never seen before. A man wearing heavy makeup, dancing with effortless grace. In 1983, a deeply conservative South Korea looked at this screen and made a collective, undeniable mistake. Everyone genuinely believed he was a beautiful British girl. Hello and welcome. I am Neon, the host of Neon Rewind. I'm a native Korean, currently living in South Korea. This channel is a deeply personal archive of my own memories, growing up with 1980s pop music in Korean society and exploring the profound impact it left on us. Ultimately, I hope to expand this journey to discuss how a once isolated nation became a global cultural powerhouse and shed light on both the light and shadows of K-pop. How much do you really know about South Korea? The Korean society of the 1980s, where I spent my middle and high school years, was worlds apart from the dazzling reality you see today. It was a fiercely conservative, heavily regulated society under a military regime, a place where school uniforms and hair lengths were strictly monitored. To a 10-year-old boy raised in such a controlled environment, seeing Boy George on AFKN felt less like a musical performance and more like a spaceship crash landing on Earth.
Do you really want to hurt me? Nothing to show me.
The way we consumed pop culture back then was entirely different, of course. Yet, for me, that era remains a treasure trove of memories, stained with both laughter and tears. If I had to choose the best thing I ever did in my life, it was discovering and losing myself in pop music during those lean years. For a boy who grew up facing many hardships, music wasn't just entertainment, it was a sanctuary. It was the only place I could truly breathe. Before we tune into part 4, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a like to support the archive. Today, out of all those precious memories, I want to take you back to the very first spark that jolted my youth, the electric, unforgettable story of Culture Club.
Do you really want to hurt me? The time is precious, I know. It's time. I'll tumble for you. I'll tumble for you. I'll tumble for you.
It was early 1983 when Culture Club's music began to echo across Korean airwaves and capture our hearts. In fact, 1983 stands as a monumental turning point in global music history, a chaotic, beautiful year when the very gravity of pop music began to shift. This was the dawn of what music historians call the Second British Invasion. The American music scene, which had long been dominated by traditional melodies and rock, was suddenly ambushed by a wave of vibrant British synth-pop, infectious new rhythms, and striking visuals. And standing right at the bleeding edge of this cultural revolution was Culture Club. They weren't just changing the sound of the radio, they were rewriting the entire definition of pop stardom.
Come a chameleon. You come and go. No, you miss me. I know you miss me. I know you miss me, but now it's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Poison in my
Their crowning achievement came with the mega hit, Karma Chameleon. To the world, it was an infectious, joyful anthem that topped the charts globally. But behind the bright, sunny melodies laid a deeply painful, hidden heartbreak. The song was an encoded message from Boy George to the band's drummer, John Moss. According to several biographers and later interviews, the two were locked in a passionate but secret romance. In the deeply conservative 1980s, John was terrified of the public finding out. He lived like a chameleon, constantly shifting his colors to hide his true self. When Boy George sang, "You Come and Go," it wasn't just a catchy chorus. It was a desperate plea to a lover who kept retreating into the shadows. When Culture Club's songs began capturing Korean airwaves, it wasn't just a musical hit. It was a 1980s mystery. Famous radio DJs introduced him as a sensational female vocalist, and young boys plastered posters of this gorgeous woman on their walls, completely unaware of the truth. It was the first time the local public had ever witnessed a man wearing heavy, feminine makeup. At a time when terms like androgyny or non-traditional identities didn't exist in the local vocabulary, his very presence was an incomprehensible illusion that shattered rigid traditional boundaries. Yet, strangely, this alien visual perfectly captured the paradoxical energy of 1980s soul, a fascinating clash between a booming, wealthy, and sometimes reckless economy and strict social norms. What made this cultural pill so easy to swallow was the music. Culture Club demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of pop composition, masterfully blending reggae and soul with incredibly catchy, familiar melodies. For a moment, the sound was so sweet that the visual dissonance was tolerated, and they became the ultimate mainstream sensation.
Love is nothing without you. Love is love. Move, move, move away.
While they were a defining force of the Second British Invasion, Culture Club's musical DNA set them apart from their peers. Unlike other contemporary groups who relied heavily on synth-pop and electronic beats, or bands like The Police who leaned closer to rock-infused reggae, Culture Club brought a genuine, organic warmth to their sound. It was an accessible yet unique sonic formula that resonated deeply with the emotional texture of Korean listeners. Your likes and subscriptions truly help this channel grow. Thank you for watching. However, the honeymoon with the Korean public was intense but brief, as Culture Club's momentum began to slow with their third album, failing to produce consecutive mainstream mega hits. The public's attention quickly shifted. A new wave of pop icons, like the charismatic duos Wham! And the synth-pop kings A-ha, arrived to capture the hearts of the youth. The fast-paced music scene moved on, but the cultural ripples Culture Club left behind could not be erased. Culture Club's true impact in Korea extended far beyond fashion and music charts. They served as a powerful catalyst that introduced a revolutionary concept, that masculinity and femininity could blur, opening an era where pretty boy stars could dominate the mainstream. More importantly, for the quiet few who lived in the shadows of unspoken gender identities, Boy George was a silent, visible beacon. He didn't spark an immediate human rights movement, but he dragged their existence into a tentative, undeniable daylight. It was the essential first spark of change. Decades later, we can see the DNA of this visual revolution in modern K-pop. The concept of male artists wearing exquisite makeup, breaking gender norms and utilizing striking, theatrical concepts, didn't appear out of thin air. It traces its roots all the way back to the shocking, beautiful crash landing of Boy George in 1983. Through a borrowed television, a global revolution had quietly taken root in soul.